Hi everyone, welcome to the Premier League Game Week 10 preview. My name is Matthew Glazier and this is brought to you by WhatAcca.com. Head over to WhatAcca.com now. You will see daily tips, you will see bet builders, horse racing tips. We have got lots of expert predictions. I'm about to run through all 10 of the Premier League games that are taking place for Game Week 10. I'm going to give you a prediction, a betting prediction, and also a correct score prediction. So choose to follow, don't choose to follow, it's your choice, but see what you think about this little lot. Starting off with Saturday afternoon matches, AFC Bournemouth against Leicester City. Bournemouth are unbeaten since Gary O'Neill took caretaker charge. He's now odds on to become permanent manager of the Cherries. However, we're going to back Leicester to win this game. James Maddison was on fire as Leicester won 4-0 away at home to Nottingham Forest on Monday night. The attacking players that they've got at their disposal, including WhatAcca, look really dangerous in that game, and we think they will just about edge a Bournemouth side who are quite good at keeping things tight, especially at the Vitality. But Leicester to win, I think. Full steam ahead for Brendan Rodgers' side now. Chelsea go up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. It looks like Julen Lopetegui is going to become the new Wolves manager, although we think Chelsea will win this game and both teams to score no. Chelsea to win to 0. We think Graham Potter's side will brush themselves down after playing Milan in the Champions League and comfortably take care of a Wolves side who are really struggling for goals. Diego Costa will go up against his former club. We're not expecting him to get a lot of joy. Chelsea and both teams to score now. We'll go for a Chelsea 3-0 win. Incidentally, Leicester to win 2-1 at Bournemouth. Manchester City go up against Southampton. Try Manchester City minus 2.5, depending on what the Asian handicap prices are here. It's inconceivable that City won't win this game, and it just is a question of by how many goals. We would assume that Erling Haaland will start this game, and if he does, that will surely lead to goals for the Norwegian teams. He scored in all but one of his Premier League games this season. Southampton lost at home to Everton last weekend. Could be in for a season of struggle based on early evidence. We're going to go for City minus 2.5 on the Asian handicap. City comfortable 4-0 win here. Newcastle United go up against Brentford in the last Saturday afternoon 3pm kickoff. We're going to go for Newcastle to win to 0 in this game. Brentford drew a blank at Bournemouth last weekend. They were reasonably good at keeping it tight, but they could have given away a penalty or two at the Vitality Stadium. Newcastle achieved something of lift-off when winning 4-1 against 10-man Fulham last weekend. Callum Wilson is back in the groove, even if Alexander Isaac is out injured. Plenty to like about the Magpie side going forward. Really strong from a defensive point of view as well. Newcastle to win to 0, a 2-0 win to Newcastle wouldn't get far away. Brighton go up against Tottenham Saturday tea time, and what a start it was for Brighton and their new manager De Zerbi, who saw his Brighton side serve it up at Anfield and draw 3-3. We're going to go for over 2.5 goals in this game, simply because it's hard to predict an outcome either way. Tottenham had a 0-0 draw in the Champions League during the week. Brighton obviously had that 3-3. They've been full of goals, including Leandro Trossard, but hard to call it either way. Really, the bookies making Tottenham very slight favourites. So over 2.5 goals. Something like a 2-2 draw wouldn't surprise us in this one as well. But push comes to shove, I think Brighton are arguably the value in this game based on the form so far this season. Sunday matches, we've got Crystal Palace against Leeds at 2 o'clock. We're going to give a Palace to beat Leeds. Palace have had a really difficult run of fixtures, so you have to bear that in mind when you look at that league position. Leeds had a reasonably strong start to the season, but they've tailed off quite a lot recently. Ill discipline sort of costing Leeds as well, and they've not been convincing away from home. They've lost a couple away from home already. So Palace win here, 3-1 to Palace. I think they've got so much to like about them from an attacking point of view. West Ham against Fulham. Not sure about Alexander Mitrovic at the time of recording, and obviously his absence could prove telling for a Fulham side who lost 4-1 at home to Newcastle on Saturday. We're going to go for West Ham to win anyway. They look pretty good against Wolves. Defensively, they've been good all season, really. They haven't conceded many sort of silly goals, if you like. And Jared Bowen and Ricardo Skimmaker seem to be clicking into gear up top. So West Ham to win this game relatively comfortably. Maybe a 2-1 victory should do us very nicely. Arsenal against Liverpool, the headline match of the Premier League Game Week 10. We're going to go for Arsenal to win and both teams to score, yes. No reason to desert an informed Arsenal side. They can put Liverpool to the sword. But we do anticipate it being a high-scoring game, as we know Liverpool are capable of finding the net in practically any game. But they did ship 3 goals against Brighton last weekend, and they're facing an Arsenal side who are absolutely bouncing, really. They've there's only one blot on the copybook so far this season, and that was a 3-1 defeat at Old Trafford, where they look the likelier winner at 1-1. So go for the Gunners, and both teams to score here. Gabriel Jesus sure to be a menace for the back line, and an Arsenal 3-1 win wouldn't surprise us in the slightest. Everton go up against Man United. We're surprised United are such short price for this one. Eric Ten Hag's side did build up a bit of a head of steam when winning 4 games on the bounce, but let's not forget some couple of the defensive aberrations that have occurred this season. They lost 4-0 at Brentford, they lost 6-3 at Manchester City. They are vulnerable, and they're facing Everton at possibly the wrong time, considering Everton are bidding for their 3rd consecutive win. Connor Cody not only doing really well at the back, but also a menace in the opposition penalty area. Frank Lampard is quietly going about his business, doing a good job. Everton draw no bet. You could even back Everton to win this game. 1-0 win to Everton. That's what they seem to be specialising in at Goodison Park at the moment. So yeah, let's look at something like that. Finally, the Monday night game. Nottingham Forest are in action on another Monday night. We're going to go for under 2.5 goals here. Steve Cooper remains in charge of the Tricky Trees. And surely his first port of call will be to make them defensively tighter and harder to break down. After all, that's what Steven Gerrard done at Aston Villa the last few games, as can be seen by some of the low-scoring matches that the Villains have been involved in. So it wouldn't surprise us at all if we sort of saw under 2.5 goals. So that's the pick that we'll go for. However, when you're down there as well, and we can see Villa coming away with a 1-0 win at the City Ground as well. Those are the 10 Premier League betting tips and correct score predictions. Hopefully they've been added some insight into your betting for this coming weekend. As I say, head over to WhatAcca now. You can get signed up with the TikTok channel, the Telegram channel. You can get on the email list. Everything's free. There's no subscription at all. So you can get plenty of tips, and you can judge whether or not to follow them or decide against it. Always remember to gamble responsibly, and I'll be back next week with some more Premier League predictions. Cheers, guys.